Good day to each and every one of you. My name is John, Johann, Sebastian, Skippy, Lemko. Congestion. I am here to introduce you to the next MegaMagic library, MegaMagic Viola. A library of depth and capabilities like nothing before ever brought to existence. It is a library that looks like this. There are demos which show the amazing capabilities on the website. There's more. I haven't filled this part out yet. That's coming. Anyway, I digress. This has some sounds in it that are truly inspirational, unbelievable. And it's also a library which involved the programming of many people, which I wish to give credit to shortly. But first, let me inspire you. Let me share some of these incredible, not only solo, but ensemble and I think sound will do so much more than just my attempts at bad accent language talking. So without further ado, here is MegaMagic Viola. Oh, wait. This is next month. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? Okay. Tricked you. Yes, that's next month. This month we are looking, we are looking at MegaMagic Viola, a library of depth and inspiration. It's actually a library I'm really, really proud of. I'm really excited about this. And I think one way to show you how cool this has come, so check this out. So let me show it to you like this. This will kind of get a kind of a cool thing to it. So this is the session. That's Mary Rowell. And that was at the session. Okay. And here it is playable. And we don't have legato, we don't have 10,000 samples, we don't have round robins. This, my friends, is a total of 8 samples. But I think it's the 8 right samples. So it works. Thank goodness. And these sounds are all presented in 3 ways. That's the dry. Ambience, I recorded like a chamber, like a really nice classical chamber, convolution reverb based. And then we did MegaMagic. And the MegaMagic might show up best on something like this, which is the Crescendos. So you're going to hear this lovely reverb that envelops and grows for like 12 seconds after she's done playing. So she's done playing. This is all processing. And it's in the samples. So you can play and it doesn't get muddy like normal reverb. That's the MegaMagic that I have applied to all the different MegaMagic libraries at my website. It's really nice. And as you can see, we have articulations ranging from dry vibrato to no vibrato. It's really nice with the MegaMagic processing because this has this nice ambience to it, so it's not quite so stark. I showed you the crescendos. Down up is where she plays a downstroke and an upstroke, and then we looped it. So, but these are nice, long, slow 7 samples each, and it's not to tempo. So you just play, and it sounds very natural. It's really fun to play. Pizzicatos, both we have, here's soft. And here's the ambient, which has even more ambience. And then the MegaMagics ring out forever. Really cool, kind of an effecty kind of thing. But you can filter that. You can do all sorts of fun things in programming with that. A harder hit velocity. You can't get that. I didn't have her do Bartoks. I should have had her do Bartoks, but we didn't. Spiccato up. Spiccato's down. Let's see, try. And just so you know, I have done some fun things in programming by taking those two, the downstroke and the upstroke, and combining those with the arpeggiator in Omnisphere. And you could go into these and actually look at the arpeggiator pattern and change the pattern. And I didn't do a lot of this, but if you wanted to get really creative, because this is 7 different patches across the keyboard, and then there's actually a hidden power strings playing just quietly with it. So here's without it. So you can solo that out, or you could just use this by itself. That's a sample that's part of Omnisphere's library in its sound sources, and I just used it to just quietly fill in. But each one of these could be a different arpeggiator pattern doing different stroking patterns. You could do all sorts of crazy things. They could be different timings. You could go to this one right here and have this one be 16th notes, and so there's all sorts of possible things you could do like that. So it's really fun. I'll show you some of these other things you see as pads and so forth. I'm first showing you just what the samples are that you get with this library that are not part of Omnisphere. None of these that you're hearing are part of anything you can find in Omnisphere. They're all new. So the spiccato, I showed you the pizzicato. Marcato, it's not technically a marcato, but it's not a spiccato. So okay. Then the motions, there's 4 of these. This is where she's doing a different thing and repeating it. And then we looped it somewhere in there where you can't tell. So this is a shorter stroke than the down up stroke. Right? It just has this melancholy kind of vibe to it, which is really nice. The fast is And all of these that I'm showing you, the modulation wheel takes it softer. Okay. Harmonics is another motion which is very pure and haunting. Right? And then whisper is equally very soft. Very stark. Perfect for Iceland or something like that. And then number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, 12, 13, 14, 15 are composites. I've taken samples from the viola library and I've combined them with samples from the cello library with MegaMagic pads, with Del Norte, to create different kinds of composite hybrid, and it's all baked into samples. So this is basically just the sample playing. And you hear kind of a synthy, breathy kind of thing in there. Right? Dreamscape is more kind of hollowed out. It's got some pan flute from MegaMagic Bells and Winds. You hear the harmonics in there. Flutterscape is the fast motion from the cello, fast motion from the viola. Other things kind of stuck in there, kind of. Really cool. And then a pizzicatoscape is using pizzicatos from the cello, from the viola, and a couple of things just mixed in there for fun. I have some stereo panning effects going on at different times with different samples. Okay, so those are the samples that are in this library. Multi-sampled across the keyboard so they sound real. If we were to go like initialize this multi, and if I was to just go in and choose just a sample of the viola, for example, let's go over here and say MegaMagic viola. Let's go to the vibrato dry. Just one sample across the keyboard. It's not going to work. We did come up with some nice patches. There's some stuff to talk to you about when we get to the patch level of this. But the really important thing is that there's enough samples and it was very carefully designed so that it can play and sound pretty darn good with just 8 samples or 7 samples. So if I was to take just one of these, like this one, number 3, 1, 2, 3, map that high and low, and go over here and solo it. Sounds good here, right? There's a very small range of about 2 or 3 notes up and 2 or 3 notes down. And if you look at the map, it's about 2 or 3 notes up and 2 or 3 notes down, and it gets to a new sample. So that's how you do multi-sampling. The reason for multi-sampling is to give yourself a more accurate version of something than what you can get with just one recording. So that's how it works. Now, we have taken these samples and taken them to the absolute extremes for usefulness and all sorts of things beyond this. Most sample libraries, you buy them and they give you that and that's it. And they stop. But this is Omnisphere and this is Plugin Guru. And that's not how we roll here. So there's a ton of very deep level programming. All these power, I'm going to show you those in a second. The whispers are incredible. I showed you the motion soft that has the motion in it. The whispers, the concept behind these is that they start very soft. And then you use the mod wheel. And there's filtering both up and down to different elements. So you have the ability to be really expressive. And then I made variations of this with all sorts of things, the crescendos. There's things with the down ups. And what inspired this was I went and saw Mary perform at a church, and she played with an ensemble, some Arvo Part compositions, and they were beautiful. This is just from a handheld phone I had. Which is all about this stark. It was so beautiful. It really inspired me to want to create things like that with these sounds. And going from so soft to this was kind of the idea with these. So there's all sorts of variations. When you get to the dream ones, these are more of a combination with those regal scapes and so forth, so that so you can get into that expressive territory that normally you can't get into. It takes a lot of programming inside of Omnisphere to get this to happen instead of just being samples, because I'm controlling when the orchestra will do the. It's all on my mod wheel. Anytime I want it, there it is. So you can do this dance now. So that level is, that's what I try to bring to these beyond just the samples. It's not the samples are only half of a plugin guru equation. I hope you understand. Most of you that have been around for a while understand that. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of whispers. The powers are trying to go for more of the spiccato layered with things to. That kind of thing. Big power, film score. That kind of thing. And varying degrees. Here's pizzicato with the string. And even when you get into the MegaMagic has more ambience. So there's all sorts of stuff in here to play with. There's really cool pads. This one's very complex. Takes a lot of power to run, but it's really nice. not just strings in this traditional sense of strings. So we have the whispers, we have the powers, we have, this is fun, Jason Schopfer was doing things with the dual arpeggiators of different patterns. So in the left hand, and the right hand, and then the major and minor get into playing them. So you play around with them in fun ways. The dream orchestras are... It's like a workstation. I come from a background of programming for 20 years plus with Korg. And so I like those immediacy, just call it up and... It's just a lovely sound. So there's those to play with. We did the whispers, the alternating spiccatos. This is one where it's actually doing... And it's a cool trick. I'm using sample start, and its modulation source is alternate. So that means that one time it's this way, the next time it's that way. And so one of these is set to inverted. The second layer is not set to inverted, and then I have it set to a certain point in the sample, whereas this one's at the beginning. This is late in the sample, and then so that first one, when it plays, you won't hear it because it's towards the end of the sample where it's silent. And then the alternate's going to bounce it up here somewhere. And so... just give you some more variety of tonality because it's playing different samples. That's the way to do it. So that's the multi-mode. Now, programming mode was really special and is different. I've done this with cello. I've got this wonderful following of people that love to learn programming tips from the videos that I've produced. And I love giving everybody opportunities to contribute to these libraries. And so we did this with cello last year in November, and we're doing it now in April of 2018. We did it, and it came out great. I don't even know the number. It's probably 30, 35 different programmers sent me patches, and we went through the patches. I was very picky on who was going to be let in. It has to be a good patch that's done very close to complete, high standards. And a lot of people, you understand that, and if you're learning, then next time you're going to be better the next time you enter. So ended up with like 26, I think, different programmers. All of these people contributed patches to this library. And so as you go through this is where you get into fun stuff. I mean, that's Viola, but like something you hear from a Peter Gabriel track or something like that. There's bells. But everything has to have some cello in it. So even these basses. Viola. And a synth waveform. It goes all over the place. These epic chords were really fun. And they get into really complex, where all sorts of synthesizer parameters being used to trick up the samples. Okay. I'm not going to play all these. There's 128. They are wonderful. Here's BPM strings. So it's not just for the classical soundtrack. Like, have that on one track and then have the whispers coming in and out on another track. And you've got something really unique to work with, I think. So So here's Kitty Cat. Because what's fun, opening up the door and having people from around the world make patches. I released 16 samples. They're still available on the website in the demo of this library for $2 if you want to get it to just to test the waters. That's available. Everybody that made patches, it has all of their patches together as a free download you can check out. But by doing that, you end up with all sorts of things I probably would not have ever thought of. So there's a lot there to work with. There's keys. These are really cool, but that's from the Harmonia, the harmonic of the viola. Really nice. There's so many pads. I mean, pads of all sorts of types. There's cool plucks. Even Jerry loves Tom. For cartoon-esque kind of moments. So much to play with. Strings. But these are from single samples, so they don't have quite the same. It's a different vibe. And I really wanted to keep it separate. So these are in the program area. For example, here's one of the Powers Picado down. Doesn't sound anywhere near as good as it does as a multi. So if you take this and you go to the multi mode and you play Powers Picado down, those samples up the keyboard make a humongous difference. So that's the library. I don't want to spend a lot of time like going through every patch, but that is the concept behind it. It's both realistic, multi-sampled, straight ahead playable violas in solo and ensemble, pizzicatos, marcatos, spiccato, the hybrid kind of layered things. Make sure my time's free. And then in program mode, it's just a whole plethora of really inspiring patches that will complement what you find in the multi-mode to make it my favorite library I've released to date. So it's really a great library. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And as always, I sincerely thank all of you for your support, and we'll see you soon. Bye.